Hello, everybody. The video you're about to watch is actually a small chunk of a much larger stream. If you'd like to go and watch the entire thing in all of its weird, wacky, and unusual glory, head on over to Red's Stream Archive and you'll be able to watch it. These do come out a fair bit after those stream archives are uploaded, which are about 1 week after the stream itself. So you're still a little bit behind, and if you go there, you'll have a little bit extra. So I'll see you guys on the other side. Okay, and now I just got to get the system music set up. Wait, that's the wrong one. There we go. So, one of my favorite games on the play of Sony's, like the ones that Sony actually owns the rights to, is actually Ratchet Clank. And all right, is the Ratchet and Clank series. And this is a game I've been wanting to play here on stream for a fair bit. So that's what we're going to be playing today. Or starting up today. Yes, we'll format. There we go. Kaizo Plateau. And for anyone that only got into it on the Ratchet & Clank reimagining, as I prefer to call it, get ready for a very different Ratchet.
Final step, attach robotic ignition system. Thank you for using help desk technology.
He's a lot more of a, not arrogant, but just tired of everything jerk in this first game. Later games, he mellows out a little bit more. Hey, Clank. For anyone that may be wondering why it's square, this is a PS2 game. PS2 games, back then, still mostly had, was it 3x5, 4x5, something like that, resolutions. Because the TVs were still mostly square. Some games later in the PS2's lifespan did have a proper widescreen, but it still wasn't a very common thing. So most games defaulted to the square, and then you go into settings to tell it, hey, do widescreen instead. But this being the first game in the series, it didn't have that option. So we're stuck with the square screen. I could technically force the widescreen, but then it would make everything look all stretched. So, yeah. Alright, oh jeez, I forgot about that. Oh, am I just gonna have to get used to that? I might just have to get used to that. Oh, that's gonna suck. Oh. Subtitles are on. There we go. There we go. I prefer that it's in the direction that you want.
Welcome to the Gadgetron Help Desk. We are here to offer you advice during your interplanetary travels. The help desk is a free service provided by Ratchet Clank.
So in the Ratchet Clank games, we are going to have to buy our weapons. Right now, all that we have is our wrench, which is a pretty handy thing to begin with. Let's do that. Left and right. We want normal. There we go. That feels better. Whoa. Okay. It has been a bit since I've charged this controller. Give me 1 sec here. I gotta plug it in. Didn't quite realize how long it's been. Now that I think about it, it's actually been about as long since the last time we played Sly Cooper. So I guess that makes a fair bit of sense. Alright. With it plugged in, should have infinite time now. Not have to worry about it. Oh, and yeah, so in this first game, unlike in later games, there wasn't like a numbered health. It's those little nanite clusters up at the top. There is a way to get more of them later, and you can get them pretty easily. But yeah, the game developers didn't really intend for us to be getting hit that much in this first section, so might have to be a little bit more careful. You can see exhausted and tired.
You can interrupt help desk messages by...
I can interrupt you by just pressing that button. Right, you can actually see up there on the cliff. There's some more nanites. Okay, so we do still have our.
OmniWrench 8000 includes a new comet strike feature. To activate it, use the R1 button to crouch, and then press the square button. You just picked up nanotech. Whenever you sustain injury, Ratchet Clank's patented nanotech system rebuild your body from the inside out.
Yep. So it's those basically. Each one is a hit. There we go. And with that, we now have enough to use our bomb glove for the first time. So if there's one thing that this game series is known for, aside from, I think, being actually really funny, and being one of like Insomniac's first games, it's the weird weapons. Obviously, a glove that you use to throw bombs doesn't seem all that weird, but trust me, once we get to some of the later ones, we'll get to some really weird stuff. Also, I wouldn't count this as a spoiler, but there's a character that you meet in just about every game, and he is always a very, shall we say, odd individual that may have odd implications as to his capabilities. Just realized I forgot to check how the game's audio looks. Okay, game's audio is decently high. Maybe I'll tune it up just a little bit. There we go.
Use your bomb glove. Press the circle button to equip it, and the circle button again to fire it. You can also use it in first person by holding down the L1 button.
Yeah. So, yeah, bomb glove, not all that weird. There's gonna be some weird ones later. you. Stop running, you cowards. Also, another thing that this game series is known for is the fact that after the first game, the titles for every single game is some kind of innuendo or pun. Literally, the second game is called Up Your Arsenal. It still tickles. But yeah, so every single game in this series is punny, jokey, and even their titles are like that, so. Also, I want to point out that in this first section, there is not a single line of dialogue, and yet you still have some of an idea of the characters.
Interesting.
Yay!
You're quite handy with your wrench.
You bet. I built that ship with it.
Currently, I'm in search of someone who could be of assistance in saving the solar system. Do you know where I might find that fellow?
Well, he's on the radio every week. Other than that, no. Hey, what's with all this save the solar system stuff anyway?
Hello, citizens of... My race, the Blog, have a small problem. Our planet has become so polluted, overpopulated, and poisonous that we are no longer able to dwell here. But I, Chairman Drek, have a solution. We are constructing a pristine new world using the choicest planetary components available. So, what does this mean to you, you might ask? Using highly sophisticated technology, which you couldn't possibly understand, we will be extracting a large portion of your planet and adding it to our new one. Unfortunately, this change in mass will cause your planet to spin out of control and drift into the sun, where it will explode into a flaming ball of gas. But, of course, sacrifices must be made. Thank you for your cooperation.
Cut!
And if you don't like it, you can take your whiny, sniveling, snot-nosed populations, form a line behind me, and kiss my... We're still on? Well, turn it off, you idiot!
The people on those planets are hosed. Well, good luck getting Captain Quark to help you.
Actually, you could help me. If you could use your ship to take me to the coordinates contained in this infobot, I might be able to gather further information there.
Even if I wanted to, I can't. I'm missing a crucial component of the ship.
The robotic ignition system.
How did you know that?
I, sir, happen to be equipped with the latest in robotic ignition systems. My programming allows me to start any ship I choose.
So, I agree to take you to this wherever it is, and you get my ship started for me?
That is what I'm proposing.
Time to go.
Deal.
This could be a problem. Take care of it.
Whoa, this is great! So that's where I've been stuck this whole time.
Please return your appendages to the steering mechanism, sir.
Huh? Oh, right. Sorry. Oh, and by the way, you could stop calling me sir. The name's Ratchet.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, sir.
You got a name?
My serial number is V54296.
Oops. I'll just call you Clank for short. Hang on.
So you see, it would be most beneficial if your citizens were not in the city when my workers begin removing it.
Preposterous! I will not stand for this.
Unfortunately, you have no choice in the matter.
Let's just see what Captain Quark has to say about that, my good man. I don't see what's so funny. Captain Quark could dispatch you without even breaking a sweat, you puny...
You have now officially worn out your welcome and my patience.
This is your last chance. Stop this madness now!
Okay, wait. You're right. I will withdraw my troops.
Really?
No! He's all yours, gentlemen. Try not to leave any marks.
Yeah. cartoonishly evil. But hey, look, I'm all for people being like, hey, we need, you know, villains or enemies that are more than just one note. But
Where are you?
I think
Oh, sorry about
I'll
that.
get to what I was saying in a sec.
Well, we're not leaving the way we came in.
Perhaps we could procure a ship from one of the inhabitants.
If there are any left.
But yeah, I think that even though having these like slightly more nuanced characters is a good, and in my case, and I very much welcome that kind of thing. Too often nowadays, it's just, hey, they're a bad guy, but you shouldn't. But you should feel bad for them. That's not right. So, here's our weapons.
Hi there, Fuzzball.
Hey, man. So, bomb glove ammo, and then our pyro sighter. All right, we need 2,500 for that. So I'm not going to go the way the game wanted me to, because there's stuff up here. Just like in most games at the time, instead of like full-on exploration, they had multiple areas, paths that you could take. Also, just in case anyone's wondering, yes, expect some stereotypes. But honestly, as long as the way that I feel about it, as long as the stereotypes themselves aren't insulting, I don't really see a problem with it. And yes, there's a fine line between just a general stereotype and an insulting stereotype. But, you know, just don't be a jerk about it. It's the same way as basically, hey, don't have your villains be one note. Just because they're not one note doesn't mean that they can't still be evil. Oh, right. Crud. I forgot. Can I even... Oh, no, I can. There we go. Also, this is like... I was gonna say longest running game from my childhood, but considering that Kingdom Hearts is in that, I could be wrong there. I will say it is I will say it is one of the most prolific games from my childhood. I think Up Your Arsenal came out just like 2 or 3 years after this game. So the second game in the series came out just a little bit after. You know, back then when it's like, hey, yeah, we're not gonna recreate, we're not gonna make the entire game brand new. We're gonna use a lot of the old stuff, but we're gonna use it in new ways.
Look, plumber's crack.
What did you just say?
I said, look, the plumber's back.
All right, wise guy. Shouldn't you be on one of them escape transports?
Escape transports?
Newsflash, giant robots attacking. The escape transports are taking all the rich folks off this god-darn planet.
So why aren't you on one?
Socioeconomic disparity.
What?
He hasn't got enough bolts.
Working people have to wait for Captain Quark to save us.
Well, got anything worth a lot of bolts?
I got this thing. Shows 2 weirdos ditching their ship. It's got coordinates to a desert planet, too.
An infobot. Ratchet, we could use that.
As someone that was a plumber for a while, this guy's cool.
Geronimo!
Did you just slide down a sewer pipe?
Why not? I've been in worse situations.
Mayday, mayday! This is the solar ship Radical. We seem to be under attack from the planet's surface.
Relax, kid. It looks like some sort of fireworks display. Probably in your honor.
Whoa! That was close! Ah!
Pipe down, I can't concentrate.
Oh, we've been hit!
An unexpected detour. When we land, I'll see if I can scare up an exhibition for you.
We're not gonna live that long!
Kid, let's M-screen!
Eject! Eject!
Did you see that guy on the left? That was Skid McMarks.
Does he know Captain Quark?
I doubt it. He's a pro hoverboarder, always going off about how cool he is.
Looks like he's in trouble.
I'll say. I've never seen him look so freaked out.
Gadgetron infobots give you coordinates for new planets. Now that you have the infobot for planet Iridia, you'll need to find a ship to get there. To enter look-around mode, press and hold the L1 button.
Yeah, so that's how we get to new planets. Well, once we get a ship. We gotta find the infobots. Sometimes we can just find them by getting to the end of certain paths. Sometimes we'll have to do what we did with the plumber and purchase the infobot. Still a little short on the bolts to get the pyroclider. That's fine, we'll go this way.
Press the square button to dive, and the X button to rise. Push the X button harder to rise more quickly.
Right, now put our big old wrench on there, turn this bolt around, and open this place up. Now maybe we get to a specific area today, but there is something I want to do in each of these games. Well, two things. I guess technically three. First, as always, beat the game. That is always the primary goal whenever I play a game, is beat it. Second one is going to be getting every... It's going to be collecting every... it's going to be collecting every weapon. The reason for that is that the games will check... like say when we get to up your arsenal, there's an area where you can get the free versions of the weapons from this first game, provided that you have a save from the first game saying that you have that weapon. You can get it for free, or maybe purchase. The third thing that I want to do in each one of these is get their, I guess the best way to put it for people that don't know, is get each game's ultimate weapon. So each of the games has a quote-unquote ultimate weapon called a Rhino. It stands for Rip Ya a New One. And in later games, well, actually in every single game, the Rhino is always a quote-unquote illegal weapon. Basically, it's considered so dangerous that it's been outlawed by the government of the games, but you can still get it through other means. And I want to get each one of those as well. In this first one, it's literally just a mass of... you literally buy it just for a massive bolts, massive number of bolts. But the massive number of bolts is so much that that unless you use a certain glitch, you're really unlikely to be able to get that in one or even two playthroughs. I don't know if this is something that they had in this first game, but in later games they made it so that if you go on multiple playthroughs, you can actually upgrade weapons.
For you today.
But I don't think that's a thing in this first one, because those in later games the weapons also have like an experience level. And those experience levels basically were just like, hey, had to put, for every enemy you kill with said weapon, you get points towards the weapon's experience level, and as you go farther and farther, the weapons upgrade. They gain increased damage, increased fire rate, and some even will have, and when you finally max them out, you'll get like a upgraded version of it. Like for instance, this one, or well, better yet, the bomb glove would probably make it so the bomb spawns child bombs that spread out a little bit and explode, that kind of thing. The flamethrower might have the pyrolator might have a wider cone of the flames that it produces, that kind of stuff. Something that just makes the weapon in general better. Yeah, so we're gonna need a whole heck of a lot of bolts. But yeah, when it comes time, when we get to the area where I can do the, I guess, quote-unquote glitch that'll let us get the bolts that we need, which still isn't exactly a fast way of doing it, but it's way faster than the intended method of just playing through the game like 2 or 3 times. I'll show you guys how to do it. We'll get to the part where we can get the rhino, then we'll go back, do that, or maybe I'll probably do that off screen because it's like a 10-15 minute thing. You just gotta kind of let go and do its thing. I'll have to look it up because it requires some somewhat precise movement. It's actually a speedrunner's method because I believe Rhino is a speedrunning category. Honestly, I probably could have, if I had spent the time before, I probably could have played through this, beat it, and saved, and just not gotten the rhino, and then done New Game Plus. But it's been so long since I played this first game, I'm not even sure if half of the stuff I'm used to from later games is a part of it. So I didn't want to run the risk of being like, okay, New Game Plus. Oh, New Game Plus doesn't exist in this first game. That was when they added it too. Oh, dang it. Ah, crud. Alright. Oh, hold on, guys. Got a bot showing up. There we go. Okay. I really need to go into the moderation bot I have and make sure to put in, if anyone uses the phrase remove the space, it automatically deletes it. Because, you know, that's a phrase that isn't going to get used a lot by your average person, but is used every single time by these bots, so. Alright, make sure we get as much of that as possible. There we go.
Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Oh, what are you? Mercenaries? Torturers? Assassins? I'll tell you anything. Here, take my infobot. It's all I've got left.
Sir, we're not assassins.
Hold on. Let's see what he's got.
I mean, in fairness, he probably would have given you this anyway, but
Has
don't
this
worry,
ever
Quark. I hear
happened
that
to
happens
you?
to a lot of people.
Hi, I'm Captain Quark, and believe me, there's nothing worse than staring down a Blargian snagglebeast from the inside and knowing your equipment isn't functioning properly. That's why I come to Al's Robo Shack for all my electronic needs. Al has been the exclusive repair shop for my super electro gadgets since I was knee-high to a sand mouse. If Al can't fix it, it's not broke. Right, Al? You said it, pal. So if you're fighting crime, or just fighting grime, come to Al's Robo Shack in Metropolis for all your robotic repairs. Al's Robo Shack, it's Quarktastic!
Do you know what this means?
Yeah, Captain Quark is really sold out.
No, it means Captain Quark is on Metropolis. We could tell him about this invasion.
If we had a ship.
What? A ship? What? You're not going to torture me? Well, as planetary chairman, I could arrange for you to borrow our courier ship.
Cool.
You can count on us, sir.
Right. Thank you, your chairman shipliness.
Now that you have coordinates to 2 new planets, you can use your ship. Press the select button to bring up the map. Your ship is marked with a star.
Yeah. So, normally at this point, I go to the I go to the planet with the surfer bro dude on it. I wonder if I should mix it up this time. Yeah, we'll go straight to where Clank says Quark. Well, Clank thinks Quark might be at. Because there's a nice movement upgrade we can get there. I will say some of the later levels in this get really stinking tough. Well, all right, everyone. That's it for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you want, you can take a look right over here, and that will be whatever YouTube thinks of my content will be best for you to watch. Or you can look over here, and that will be the playlist for the rest of this game as I'm playing through it. So, as always, I hope you'll have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. TTFN.